Just one. Yeah. I got two more after this. So the 11th and the 18th. Cool. Cool. Okay. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hello. Check. 1, 2. Cool. How's your week going? Sweet. Yeah.
Positive.
That's usually the baseline for.
I feel like that's a good baseline to have. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Nick. I'll be your MC. We're still waiting on our presenter. He's going to be on Zoom. So if you guys want to hang out, there's coffee over and tea as well. But we'll get going in probably, there's Tino. He's here about like 5 minutes or so.
Good morning.
All right. Hi, Tino. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to make you a co-host. Do you want to practice sharing your screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Here you go.
Awesome. You did it. Great job. All right. Well, we're going to mingle for 5 more minutes and then we'll get going right after that. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I guess it's just us this morning, Tino.
That works for me.
Yeah. So, hello. I
Hi.
look forward to hearing about you, ma'am. Where are you guys based out of?
I live in Cleveland, but I'm in the Bay Area for the next few weeks. I'm doing I'm fundraising.
Exciting. How's the weather out there right now?
You know, it's San Francisco. What can I say? It never changes, right?
Well, for the most part, yes, it's better than the Mideast. So that's so cool, man. Have you been doing a lot of these 1 million cups?
Yeah, over the past year, about half a dozen, if not more.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
And you know, just recently, that's been about half a dozen. You know, prior to that, over the course of this entrepreneurial journey, I've also presented to other times also.
So nice. Yeah. So it looks like they're doing a hybrid group. So it looks like the majority of the people are at the cafe or wherever they're at.
Oh, nice. You guys
Yeah.
are live.
They are, yeah. I'm based out of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And I attend certain ones while they're still virtual.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of bounce around seeing what people are talking about and offering and what's their innovation.
Cool. Tell me
Yeah.
about you then.
Oh, geez. Like I said, I'm based out of Philadelphia. We are a business management consultant firm.
Mm-hmm.
We work on all types of groups, primarily in the enterprise type space, but are now trying to transition to help everyday type business. Take the tools and knowledge and resources that corporations have to bring that to everyday business. So we do a plethora of different things. It's across the customer experience, their marketing, their sales, their engagement, their internal processes, their external processes, their R&D, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of cover and look at and kind of review it with the company or the individual.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. I mean, the challenge with scaling or descaling corporate processes into smaller businesses is you don't have that segregation of duties sometimes.
Correct. Sure. So
Um,
there's so many hurdles, and businesses all have questions,
mhm,
but they're always being sold. So our
mhm.
motto is ask us, get informed, not sold. So we bring the tools, the knowledge, and resources. Sometimes we will help you, but we're never selling a product. We don't represent any one company or business or product. Every tool and product fits different users. There's not one model. So no matter
Mhm.
what you're trying to do, some tools work better for others. It's also depending on the learning curve and the team size and their budget, right?
Mhm.
And you don't always have to go out and buy the most expensive tool, even though it could be a great tool. There may be ways to do something simpler and inexpensive to get going.
Yeah, yeah. That's certainly something I experienced in as a bootstrapping startup. Um, but it is what it is. Because
So
the last
please,
company I oversaw
going-
was $1.2 billion, and so from that to bootstrapping startup with a single full-time member and a bunch of part-time members is challenging.
definitely. What was the last business venture you were in?
Come on.
It was I was overseeing a business unit of BASF, the German chemical company.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's a small company. They don't really do much.
Hi, Jesse and Tina. I'm going to cut you guys off. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, please. We were killing time.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
going
wanna
to steal the
interrupt.
mic. Awesome. You ready? We're good? Good, Courtney? All right. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Denver. We have a problem. We have 3 problems. Entrepreneurs need feedback on their startup. Entrepreneurs need a place to practice presenting. And entrepreneurs need a place to meet other entrepreneurs. And I have a solution. 1 Million Cups. We meet here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. at Green Spaces and at Zoom. Free coffee and tea. If you don't have any yet, there's some over in the corner. You can either use the white mugs that are on the counter, or you can grab one of those mugs and keep it as well. We do 6-minute presentations. After the presentations, we give 15 minutes to 20 minutes of constructive audience feedback. In terms of our use cases, what type of presenters we're looking for presenters that have an idea, a product, or a startup. Ideally, they're in the teenage stage, so they're not too new, not too old. And most importantly, they're looking and will receive feedback, because that's why we're here, is to give feedback to the presenters. And you can call this like batting practice. You're here to practice your presentation and repeat so you get better. What type of impact does 1 Million Cups have? So entrepreneurs get to be open and transparent. Entrepreneurs get to get feedback to improve their startups. And last, entrepreneurs build meaningful connections as well. And because of all this, we're having traction. More people are showing up, as I can tell. Quick shout out to the org team, myself, Gregarious, Carter, Ali, Josh, Courtney, Joseph. You guys are awesome. Without you, this wouldn't be happening. If you're interested in joining, your face can be on there as well. Shout out to our sponsors, Green Spaces Co-working, where we're at right now. The Perk Coffee is what you're drinking. Good Elephant, Join, In Crowd, Founders Craft, Colorado, Lightning Source, Pono Media, and the comments on Champa. That's a lot to say quickly. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Do any of our sponsors want to say anything? Any shout outs? No? I'll do a shout out for Green Spaces for coming here today. If you want to hang out for the rest of the day for free and co-work, you're welcome to do that. Just after the event, just check in with Holden at the front desk as well. So it's a perk for being a 1 Million Cups attendee. Awesome. I think that should be okay. Anyway, so who is new to 1 Million Cups today? 3 people. Awesome, you're not. And by a show of hands, who considers themselves an entrepreneur? More than half. Awesome. Well, we're going to do some quick introductions. I like to go find out new people in the audience. Just what's your name, what you do, why you're here. I'm looking for volunteers. If I don't get any volunteers, I'm just going to pick on people. Anybody want to do a quick introduction of themselves? All right, awesome.
Hi, I'm Christopher. I am with Pikespeed Capital. We're an affordable housing company in private equity fund.
And why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
Oh, because I love the startup community. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. So I'm excited to get plugged in here.
Awesome, thanks. And just a reminder, these mics are not very good, so you get them really close to your mouth as well. All right, who else? Introduction. Okay, over here.
Hi, I'm Tara. I own my own painting company, so I paint interiors and work for the International Church of Cannabis. And I'm here because she invited me and told me about it.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Who else wants to say hi? No? Okay, all right, let's say hi.
I'm Joe Ward. I worked at TD Ameritrade for 7 of the last 9 years. Spent some time in between working at an educational nonprofit in New York City. Ran summer school programs. I was manager of analytics, did like Lean Six Sigma process efficiency type stuff there, and was recently received severance by request, and I'm just starting to work on some other skills and some other side projects.
Cool, why are you here?
Was on a road trip last year, settled in Denver, had some friends who are at Green Spaces, and I don't know, I've seen you guys do 1 million cups a few times, so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about Pete? You want to say hi?
Sure.
My name is Pete. I'm new here. I just started my own fitness tech company for a very simplistic and also buzzworthy filled description of my company. And I'm here to meet more people in the Denver startup space.
Pete, do you want to present here at 1 Million Cups in the future?
Maybe.
Maybe. I'll take that as a yes. All right. So for people that don't know, we do have a website. At this website, you can find out who's presenting each week as well. It's 1millioncups.com/Denver. If you're interested in presenting like Pete, you go to the website, fill out a quick application, and we'll get you on the schedule as well. That's a great segue. Like that? Cool. So right before we get into our first presenter, just let you guys know the presenters are here for your feedback. So the goal while you're listening about their presentation, think about one thing that you can give feedback on or a question you can ask. The more dialogue we have, the better this event is. If you have a lot to share, kind of do one feedback at a time. I'll come back to you later on. And anybody in Zoom, if you're over there, if you have any feedback, we'll type in the chats. But now since this is a little bit different this week, I'm adjusting. We have a Zoom presenter, so this changes everything we've been doing in the past. But if you have a question on Zoom, type it in the chat and I'll just read it out loud. All right, so we'll move on to our presenter, which is, I'm gonna assume it's Baryu. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Tino, I apologize. But Baryu leverages underused factory capacity and advanced manufacturing technology to avoid up to $9 billion in waste. Baryu patent-pending process transforms augmented reality models into custom furniture products in a customer home region. Let's give a big round of applause to Tino. I will stop sharing.
Hey, you guys, I wish I could be with you all. That sounds like a lot more fun than being in my room here.
Well, we're glad you're here though.
Likewise. And so, okay. Let me also hide this. Okay. My name is Tino Go. I'm the CEO and founder of Baru. And our website is hellobaru.com. And what we are is building an Uber for manufacturing, idle manufacturing capacity. So we've created a virtual factory out of other people's manufacturing robotics. We're initially applying this to the furniture industry because it's an $18 billion category that wastes 9 billion of its sales every single year on inventory management and global distribution costs. We've eliminated those activities from our operations, and that allows us to serve customers better, because despite the quasi-infinite variety you can find in the world, it's still a struggle to find things in the right size, material, and color for your specific needs. We've made that super easy. At the same time, we're building what's going to be the platform for the and digital process for consumer-driven e-commerce. So we've made furniture shopping super easy. You choose a product from our catalog. You can customize it directly on the website, or there we go. Let's make that smaller. Or you can customize it in augmented reality, purchase, and we deliver it in a couple of weeks. So this is how the augmented reality works. After you choose a product, you can see it in your space. You can change the colors and materials, resize it to fit. And when you're convinced, and when your family's convinced that it works, simply buy, we deliver it in 2 weeks. Super easy. The way we're able to do it so quickly is we're encoding that sales order with the instructions that drive the machines, and we are sending to a machine in your hometown, in the customer's hometown, home region, to process the materials and to deliver really quickly to that customer. There are about 4,000 of these machines that are on average used 2 hours a day. We can be less than an hour away from 135 million households. That's 2/3 of the US population. Literally, these machines are scattered throughout the map in the US and all over the world. And as we grow and scale, by eliminating 50% of the industry's cost structure, that wasteful cost on inventory management and distribution costs, shipping, we're creating local hometown jobs, paying local businesses up to $300 million. And we're eco-positive, we're climate positive. We plant 3 trees to replace the wood that we use. And after 3 years, those trees start absorbing more CO2 than we put into the world with our hometown process. By shrinking a global supply chain into a hometown process again, we actually support 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We create decent work and good jobs. We further industrial innovation by spreading the wealth of this vertical into a marketplace. We reduce inequalities. We're reducing landfill and helping for the Sustainable Cities Initiative. We're producing better quality furnishings with a higher material content than typical mass-produced goods, and then we help the climate. Leland is a rock star. He's managing our manufacturing processes and engineering. So he's an expert in manufacturing automation. Last year in 2019, he was also the president of the Cabinet Makers Association. So he brings 41 years of industry experience to the team. Dane, he's currently acting as our technical lead, and Dane built the platform for a company that was sold last year. And my background is in operations and logistics between the US and Europe, and also corporate finance between investment banking, workouts and turnarounds, and direct oversight of mostly manufacturing companies over the past 21 years. I've managed companies as small as $12 million that we grew to 85 million in 5 years, as well as a $1.2 billion business unit of BASF. We started selling last year on a beta when Google put us on their Employee Perks website. We've grown organically to 20 regions. That puts us within an hour of 95 million potential customers. Our run rate as of this month is $120,000 a year. So again, we've accelerated that our run rate. It's currently, over the past month, we sold almost $10,000. The way we go to market is through these partnerships, employee perks programs, and other revenue sharing partnerships, as well as going to market to business buyers that would normally be dealing with a complex global supply chain. We simplify that to reduce their risks and costs. Ultimately, our customers, our consumer customers, they fall into two groups. They're adults under 40. They want it fast, convenient, online, and they want it customized. And then we've got all of the folks that have looked and looked, but they can't find what doesn't exist to buy. We figure by serving those folks, we're expanding the market by $3 billion from the existing 18 billion. Because the existing $18 billion is all crammed on the left side of this chart, where retailers are only offering limited selections in limited materials and sizes. We're with superior materials, we're able to offer almost any size and configuration. And because our cost structure is much more effective than the rest of the industries, we can really focus on the customer experience, the customization using high-grade materials and real-time customization and fast delivery. So our operations are 100% digital, but our revenues are from selling the finished product. And we earn money as we achieve economies of scale at our local manufacturing partners, as we bring that machine utilization from 2 hours potentially to all day. To get us where we are now, we've invested about $345,000. Angels have contributed $257,000, including the former CEO of Silicon Valley Bank. And I've put in about $190,000. We're raising $1 million seed round. 74% of will be for revenue growth. That's direct sales to business buyers, more partnerships, revenue share partnerships and affiliations, and direct to consumer marketing. Our historic return on ad spend is $5 for every $1 that we spent. That was just with 2 months of testing. We expect that to improve. Now is an awesome time to join Baru. We're at that inflection point. We need a war chest to go to market with and pour gas on the fire. So thanks. I look forward to hearing your questions and getting your feedback.
All right. Let's give a big round of applause for Tino. I have my camera over here. Tino, what feedback do you want from the audience?
Yeah, essentially, what was clear, what was not clear, how folks think I can improve, what they liked, what they didn't like. I'm open to all feedback.
Okay, so let's start off. Anybody have any feedback or questions? Allie's really close. Come on.
Hi, Tino. Well, as far as what was not clear, to me, I think you showed that slide with the map of kind of how it works. But I'm still trying to figure out how you do this and how it actually happens, and your hometown building strategy sounds really cool, but I didn't really understand what it was or how it worked. So then when you were saying how you created all the jobs and fulfilled so many of the climate change things, it was hard for me to really believe it because I couldn't really picture what you were doing. So would you mind explaining a little more of how it works?
Yeah, sure. So when a customer orders, for example, in Denver, we are producing the code that drives the machines and purchase orders for the materials to send to our local partner in the Denver region. And so the local manufacturer, all they have to do is receive the materials and process and plug in our code into their machinery. It's as if we just added another job to their morning the production meeting. That's how seamless it is, and that's how it's super easy for the local manufacturer. And in terms of the 6 sustainable development goals, we've got this. We're competing with an existing global supply chain. The global supply chain creates a bunch of negative economic externalities and a bunch of environmental and social effects. And at the same time, it's hugely wasteful. You know, the industry wastes half of its revenues on shipping and inventory management costs. So what we've done is we've eliminated those costs and redistributed them into higher quality materials and hometown manufacturing using these idle robots, these idle manufacturing robotics. And those cost savings allow us to be able to afford hometown manufacturing and the higher quality materials. Is that better?
All right. Thanks, Dino. Have another question in the back here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I was going to ask is really similar to Ali. I think that in terms of feedback and how to make that more clear in your presentation is going through that slower and explaining the process, as well as listing out the value points. So this is why it's different, because initially to me, it seems like, okay, yes, they're utilizing other people's manufacturing and making it local, but it was hard to correlate the effect that you were saying to the actual process. So that's my feedback. And a quick question is just, why are those machines that you're utilizing only utilized for 2 hours a day currently?
Yeah, they only cost $2,000 a month. A brand new one only costs $2,000 a month on a 5-year capital lease. And so that's half of the weight of factory workers' wages. And so it gets a person's work done in less than 2 hours. So it makes sense for the business owner to have one of these machines because it increases productivity immensely. And, it's 100% accurate and never makes mistakes. It never has to take a sick day. And that's why there are so many of these machines out in the world. And it pays for itself in an hour of runtime. That's why.
All right, great question. Another question here. Go ahead.
And along the same vein, I heard you say you're planting 3 trees. I didn't hear what you saying you're planting them 4. So that was my feedback as well. Of following Emily a little clear about the environmental UN Sustainable Development Goals and tree impacts. That's, I'm a tree hugger, so that's important to me. And if it was a little clear, I heard that you say it offsets your carbon footprint. Can you expand on that a little more, how that works?
Yeah, so, okay, well, I've calculated how much for a piece of furniture that's made in the Far East, the shipping creates about half of that furniture's weight in CO2 emissions. So that's a 12,000-mile shipping distance. We've reduced the shipping distance to under 50 miles. And those, the emissions created from a 50-mile delivery is completely offset by the planting of 3 trees in 3 years, which is less time than our furniture is made our furniture is much more durable than 3-year furniture.
Is that it? Okay. Hey, Joe, go ahead.
So great presentation. I have been in the custom lighting and furniture manufacturing industry for 18 years. I currently, I'm very active at High Point, Las Vegas Market, I've got a lot of the manufacturing friends.
Mhm.
Explain, so are you only focusing on a certain niche? Because I come from a world of, I mean, Christopher Guy, high-end manufacturing, they carve by hand in Indonesia.
Yeah.
My friend, oh shoot, over at Norwalk, they have an upholstery company.
Mhm.
So we're seeing all these products, the crafting of all the products. I get aggregating out to local manufacturers instructions on how to, but then they still got to go about the process of sourcing
Yeah.
their own products. They get a shopping list, but I don't see how you aggregate it. Second, you're talking about this machine, but I don't understand this magic machine that makes every furniture item. So are you only focusing on like flat IKEA type boxable stuff with compressed wood? What niche are you carving into? Because I can't imagine some machines making upholstered goods or electrified, light fixtures or cabinets or end tables. So what are you focusing on?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We are only focusing on the kinds of products that the machines can make. And so right now we're using the machines that are normally used for kitchen cabinets and fixtures, furnishings and fixtures in stores. And so they tend to be boxy, but we add adjustable height legs. We add the material grade that we're using is, where IKEA grade materials around $30 a panel, where our panels are up to $300 a panel and still priced competitively with other products that you see out in the world. And so it's yeah, you're right. We'll probably never do upholstery, but we will be doing other things that the machines can do. That would be the interior fixtures of stores or kitchen cabinets, things like that. It's all going to be machinable goods.
Great feedback, Joe. And Joe made a great.
And also one thing, we don't push the work of ordering materials to the manufacturer because they don't have time and they don't necessarily need to do this because we already know what we've specified. We order it and pay for the materials ourselves and just consign it to them for processing.
Right. I do want to highlight Joe made a great furniture building pun about carving out a business. All right, go ahead. He has a follow-up question.
So my follow-up question is, I've been doing this manually, what you're doing, through computerized aggregation. I did manually, right? So even if, like, let's say a manufacturer in the city of industry, Angelica, even if I gave her the materials and I had all the hinges and all the parts and all the mechanical fasteners and everything, and I gave it to her,
Mm-hmm.
that's not her process. She's not used to that. So I would assume that there's an onboarding process. But second, because this is customized and a person can shrink and scale a furniture item to their need using VR or AR or whatever, she's still got to make her adjustments and add it into her production cycle. So on my end, just in my experience, that's where the question's coming from, is that process. We for custom take 6 to 12 weeks. 6 is really pushing it. 12 is where we would love to, so that we can get everybody on board and we can confidently deliver. 2 weeks, I don't even know how you would get your materials to that person in time for production, especially with such a variation in materials. You've got laminates, you've got finished items, you've got metals, you've got different finishes on metals. So super curious. I would love to follow up and dig in deeper. It's just from a person who did it manually, I just don't. This might be good for certain items, but your presentation said it as though this was the solution for all furniture. So maybe honing in on the items that you guys are specializing in and how you're going to aggregate that out and how you're going to solve that one problem. And then as far as the environmental factors, that's great. And I get sourcing local, producing local. There is a cost lift on local versus overseas. And so I'm curious, I would love to dig in further with you one-on-one, but my question would be, or my feedback would be, hone in on that one niche, because it sounds like you do all furniture. Second, as far as getting into all the economic ecological impact and all that, I think step one is hone in on that niche and just repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. That's just my feedback.
All right. Thanks, Joe. And then Pete's got a feedback or question.
Yeah, so the part of the presentation that really struck me was the VR, like here's how a table fits in the space. When I saw that, I was like, dang, that's really, like, as someone who just furnished an apartment, that would have been really helpful. And I'm just curious, like, is that something that exists elsewhere? And if not, could you lean into that as a really viable solution? Because I could see Wayfair, Amazon, all these different places being like, yeah, this would be a great way to showcase something so that people, when they buy stuff, know exactly what they're getting and how it fits the space.
Yes. First of all, the VR or the AR experience does exist in with other sellers. It's not as common, and to that extent, we haven't even maintained our AR app, and it, you know, with other software updates around it, we're no longer using it at this point. But no one else is taking the visual to control the manufacturing. And that is what our IP is about, our using that visual as a controller for the robotics. And because and that is to the other gentleman's point, that's how we drive those efficiencies. We're creating the designs parametrically in the file. So you can change the height, width, depth, and it's a simple, you know, change of those three numeric variables. And then we're only specifying standardized materials. You know, for example, the $300 material that I mentioned is made by a company in Belgium, and it's distributed worldwide. So wherever we order that material, it's identical. In Denver, it would be I forget it's the big lumber distributor in Denver, and they serve New Mexico, Colorado, and yeah, and Utah, I believe. It's that entire mountain region. And so wherever we order that material, it is delivered in a bi-weekly run to any of those shops in that 3-state region. That's how we can drive those efficiencies. There is no work that's needed to be done on the electronic file, and that is output immediately to the local manufacturers so they can plan for it for production 10 days out. We order the materials and those arrive during a week, the intervening week. They're processed in literally an hour, and any light assembly is done in an hour or two, and then it's out for delivery. That's how we can maintain that 2-week turnaround.
Awesome. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, in established regions like the New York tri-state region, we're getting things out in 8 days.
All right, awesome feedback, Pete. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the story behind the idea? Like, when was that light bulb moment?
Yeah, of course. In 2014, I looked for a bookcase. I couldn't find one, and which is a common occurrence. But when I discovered to get one made was a months-long process, and you know, I had to find someone to do it. I had to trust them. I had to correspond with them in person or you know, through written communications. It was just a longer process than I thought needed to be, because by that time, I'd overseen a lot of manufacturing facilities, and I knew the state of software, and I knew the state of automation, and I knew that the maturing technologies around 3D printing and other digital manufacturing technologies were going to continue to improve. And that was the light bulb moment. If we could take all of these existing assets that are already being installed and bought and installed by manufacturers around the world, by taking advantage of the downtime, which there always is, then we could eliminate a lot of the non-value adding costs of centralized manufacturing and global distribution.
I have a solution to your bookcase problem is just get a Kindle and then you don't need a bookcase, right? All right, we have any time for a couple more questions or feedback. All right, Courtney.
Hey, Tino. Glad to see that smile. I know that sometimes presentations are just a haul, but Nick's always good with puns. Or the very clever solutions. Just go digital. I'll be. It seemed like your presentation was geared toward investors. And so a lot of the questions are coming, I feel like, because the presentation, I wasn't clear what play audience we were supposed to do. So I feel like a simple fix for that one would just be at the beginning. If you said, investor pitch deck, and kind of stated that up front, if you're planning to do more 1 million cups, then we'll be able to cultivate our questions. Because I think for an investor pitch and for a short amount of time, you did an excellent job. The only other thing I would say is it seems like you have super nailed the credentials and all of the money pieces and the metrics and all of that kind of stuff. But I think to Nick's last point / question, that it would be really helpful if there was an emotional component. Because I think we're all emotional buyers at the end of the day. And so I think you hit on it a little bit with, finding furniture that fits. But then it was a counterpoint when we realized that it was going to be more expensive with that one graft. So just as a consumer, it was a little bit of an emotional journey that didn't leave me really wanting to go launch up your site and find a piece of furniture. And I think you have enough there. You could totally do it. But maybe just some women to feedback on, how important it is that it fits their space, especially if you aren't using the AR thing anymore. When you mentioned you aren't using that app, I saw several women in the audience go, "Oh no." So if that thing is going away, I think some other way for us to emotionally get invested in it before we open our pocketbooks, whether to invest or to go and buy the product.
Yeah, it will be a part of that app will be a big part of it. It's just that we're still bootstrapping, and I couldn't allocate the resources to an app that no one was downloading.
Great feedback, Courtney. One last question, anybody? All right, Maureen's gonna get it. Go ahead.
Hi, Tino. I
Hey.
was really excited about about your idea, because I'm one of those people too that's constantly looking for furniture and not finding exactly what I want, especially not exactly the same size. And I've actually ended up building a lot of my own furniture as a result of that, which makes me think, I had a lot of the same thoughts that Joe had throughout the presentation. Well, if the machine is making this, it's going to be pretty limited what can be made. And so then I was thinking, well, potentially though, a way that you can add variety to this is if somebody like me who has a specific idea can go to the website and design specifically what I want. I mean, obviously using the specific resources, the materials that you have or that your manufacturers have at their disposal. But I'm wondering if that's a thought for your website, for your product, that people will be able to design their own items.
Yes. We have to strike a balance for interior designers, for example, and interior architects. Our plan is to have an online configurator where they will be able to indulge in any material and process that we can access and that we can use. We have to be careful with you may be an exception, one of the exception, the 20% of the population that knows how to deal with design complexity and ambiguity. But we will have that capability to allow people to configure their own furnishings.
Thank you, Maureen. Great feedback. Tino, I have one final question for you.
Mhm.
What as a community can we do for you?
Yeah, I'm always looking for folks to talk with. Either I'm working on our manufacturing aspect. I'm also looking for revenue share partnerships. I'm also looking for investors.
Awesome. Well, let's give Tino one more big round of applause. Great job. All the information is on our website if you want to connect with Tino as well. Now we're going to move on to some community announcements. Anybody in the audience want to share any event they're going to or hosting? Any community announcements going on? None. I know Shine Festival is this weekend at Levitt Pavilion, 11 a.m. It's a free donation event that really highlights really all accessibility. I don't have the wording down, but it's for everybody. So I'm going to volunteer at the dance station. I guess I have a dance floor that vibrates, and I'm going to be there from 3 to 5. So if anybody wants to help volunteer, let me know. We can do it together. But that's happening this Sunday as well. And other announcement I have is in 2 weeks, we're going to do free headshots. So if anybody wants a headshot, Brandon will be here doing free ones on the 18th as well. And if there's no other announcements, I'll keep on trucking. We'll be here next week, August 11th, here at Green Spaces and via Zoom. Please, if you can, word of mouth is the best way to grow 1 million cups. So if you know anybody that would be interested in attending or presenting, please let them know. We have just send them to our website. All the information is there, 1millioncups.com/Denver, and follow us on social media if you like. Just a quick reminder, everybody here is awesome. You're awesome for coming out each week. Keep on doing that. Really appreciate you guys being here. Without you, this event wouldn't be happening. And what everybody's been waiting for is the pun or joke of the week. So why don't elephants use computers? Because they're afraid of the mouse. Thank you. Thank you. I should have thought of that, but I appreciate you, Pete, for being here. Awesome. Great job. There's swag on the table. Welcome to take a shirt, a mug. Just show it off if you do take one. And if you want to stay here all day in Green Spaces, just check in with Holden. He'll get you set up. And we have the space for at least another like half hour, 45 minutes. So stay, hang out, have some more coffee, connect, get to know each other. And I'll see you guys next week. Round of applause for everybody coming out today. All right. Cool. And go. All right, let me.
Thank you all.
Great presentation, Tino. I sent you a message.
That was
I
have
it.
weekly mistakes, so I was just want to make sure you guys knew. You saw it? Yeah, pretty much. And which actually did that. Earlier I misspelled a word on purpose to see if people noticed, but I forgot to make the announcement of like look for the misspelling. And funny thing is, you found one that I wasn't intending to.
All right, I think it's kind of over with.
Yeah.
You got my info. We'll connect, reach out. I'd love to chat.
Okay. I'll send you an email right now.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
It's a catch-22 because they help improve your writing and grammar, but then you
shrinks that size part of your brain.
But you think less about it because you know you have this crutch that's going to take care of you.
Yeah,
like, you'll fix it for me.
I was destroyed at any spelling.
And I guess it doesn't. This is Canva. It's the platform like that. And I guess it doesn't recognize. Well, maybe it's a URL. It doesn't say it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That .com or dot. Like it's
it's made up. It's not going to be properly spelled at all. Yeah. I love how companies are getting more. Oh no! Oh, I should have bought it. Oh. They're about to get new uniforms. Oh, yeah. Literally, Like $1 million. Yeah. Come on. Lines up. Lines up. That was like, yeah, probably later that day. It'll still be worth if you want it.
Make sure that we have
One mission. You do want me to present?
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
That's the main goal is he has something to present that you want feedback.
Yeah, fair enough. Basically, it's very like not so building an algorithm to basically bring it to the next level. So once I do that,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard like you see this and you're like, oh, he's really far along. Yeah. And that's not a good example of like what we want here. Like we're open to entrepreneurs. Yeah. Ideally, the better the younger you are, the more helpful this is going to be.
Right.
Unless he's kind of too far along that business set. Yeah, exactly. If you're earlier on, you're looking for feedback so you can see which way to pivot.
Right. And frankly, like my story is I have an idea that I'm excited about and I know how to figure it out, but I'm also not an entrepreneur by trade. So I'm very much fascinated by it. But I also love fun, so I can help you out.
That was awesome. I was like this guy.
Yeah. I texted you out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like a couple months ago.
When you're ready, just go to our website, September, and you fill out the application, and we can see it, and I'll send you a calendar link. You pick out the date you want.
Okay, that's easy. Great, but no, I think we're doing it.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, I'll leave you to these guys.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. Yeah. I really got a phone. No, I mean, yeah, I just Keynote event, and also the social events. Member circles, so then for founders and member circles. Yeah, so it's here. Definitely. What is this? Great feedback. Shut her down.